And we are live. I want to welcome everybody to FinLit Live. I am Darnold Jr., your favorite insurance agent. If you are watching the live, go ahead and type in the comments hashtag live. If you are watching the replay, type in the comments hashtag replay. I appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come check out and let's get financially lit. So FinLit Live is something that I birthed knowing that when I was growing up, I felt like I wasn't getting the financial education that I should have had. And there's a lot of people that are experts in various fields. Like, for instance, I'm an expert in insurance, but I bring on other people that are experts in various fields, such as cryptocurrencies, financial planning. But today, we are going to be talking about credit card processing. So if you are a business owner or thinking about running your own business in the future, this is a conversation you definitely want to dive into. So let's get lit. All right, so this next guest that I have I'm super excited to have him. It's a guy I barely met probably about a year ago now, but I really respect this gentleman. I look up to him dearly. He's a man after God's heart, and he has a testimony that you wouldn't believe. So if you ever get a chance, when you get his contact information, ask him about his story. But today, specifically, we're going to be talking about credit card processing. He is an expert in the field. And with that, I want to bring on Andrew Landry.
What's up?
Hey, everybody. Andrew, how's it going?
Going well, man. How you doing?
Thank you. We appreciate you for taking time out your busy schedule. I know it was a crazy week here in Houston. We had the ice storm that pretty much shut down the whole town, knocked out the power for over 4 million people. So I bet this week was insane for you personally. So I really do appreciate you for taking time out to come check this out. But before we get started, how about you introduce yourself? Let people know who you are, where you're from, how long have you been in the industry?
Well, my name is Andrew Landry. I'm right here from a small town called Raywood, east of downtown Houston, about 50 miles. Been in Texas all my life. Love to travel. I've been in the credit card industry about 6 years now, and it's a great industry, and I really like it a lot.
Awesome. So what inspired you to go into the industry?
Well, I don't know if inspired or forced is a better word. I had one of my partners does credit card processing. He told me about it, and I didn't even really know what it was at the time. And so I started a job and ended up getting laid off. And said I called him up, and he was like, "Hey, come on, do this." And so, I was kind of skeptical, but one of the best decisions I've made.
Excellent. Well, that's super exciting. So first of all, let's start for people that are new to credit card processing and they don't even know what it is. Can you just break down the basics as far as what exactly is credit card processing?
So credit card processing is the means by which a merchant, which is the owner of the business or the business entities, where they are able to take credit card payments and also to be able to with that processing, they also have fees that they pay. They have different charges that are associated with it. But the processing itself basically is you swipe the card or you stick in your chip. It relays the information over to the bank, the issuing bank. The issuing bank then relays the information back to approve that card. Once that card is approved, then at the next stage is funding, and the funding usually comes the next day or a couple days afterwards.
That's awesome. So basically, anytime I go to a store and I swipe that credit card, that means some sort of processors are in the background taking care of that information?
Absolutely. Somebody's processing that payment and relaying that information.
Excellent. And so I know there's a huge mystique, like just kind of being aware of the industry in general. There's a huge mystique and a lot of myths about credit card processing. So I wanted you to come on and kind of address those myths. Like personally, just out of your experience, what have you seen are some of the misconceptions of what credit card processors do and some of the stereotypes that you guys have?
Probably the biggest misconception and the one that I hear a lot is that I have to go through my bank. most banks are not equipped to process. They usually use a third party company, and that third party company is the one that does the processing. The bank is only there as a vehicle to get the money back and forth. So probably the biggest myth or misconception is that going to my bank is the best for me. The other myth is that a lot of people use Square and PayPal, and those are good in their areas. The issue is that the flat rate processing is not really the best pricing model out there. So many times people will be overpaying for credit card charges that they shouldn't have to. And so those are probably the two biggest misconceptions and myths that are out there. And we try to help them get into a better situation.
That's excellent. So if somebody's talking to other credit card processors, like what are some of the red flags people need to look out for when they are searching for? Because I know a lot of times there's hidden fees, there's a lot of little charges that people aren't aware of when they select a credit card processor. What are some of those things they need to look out for when they are looking for a different processor?
Well, the first thing they want to look at is what type of pricing model, right? So there's three different pricing models. There's a flat rate, there's surcharging or tier pricing, and then there's interchange plus. If they're not on the interchange plus or a cash discount type program, probably not the best in pricing model, and will cause them to spend a lot more money than they probably have to.
Yeah. And the purpose of business is to make a profit, right? And in order to make more of a profit, you got to reduce the expenses. And that's part of reducing the expenses, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent. So what has been one of the biggest challenges for your company specifically that you've seen in 2020, even coming into 2021?
The biggest challenge in the credit card industry is getting to the decision maker.
Mm-hmm.
The industry is so inundated with people, and there's people calling every day and people coming by. The struggle is getting to the decision maker and them not have a negative taste in their mouth about credit card processing. Anybody that's been doing it for a long period of time, they've been taken advantage of, they've been overpriced, they've been cheated. And so now it's kind of they're leery about even talking to credit card processors. And so the biggest challenge is getting to them and breaking down that barrier from an industry that has proven to be crooked or, that takes advantage of people.
Yeah. And so how do you do things differently? Like, how are you able to get past the gatekeepers to be able to talk to the decision makers?
Well, the first thing is trying to find out what's important to a business owner. There are some business owners that they're concerned about customer service. Some of them are concerned about saving money. Some of them are concerned about the ease of process. So my job is to kind of get an idea of what is that hot button? What is that topic that will get that conversation to continue going? Once we get to that place, then the other things that we do as far as taking care of them and making sure that they have their money when they're supposed to have it, all those things are pretty simple. It's just a matter of getting that hot button out for them.
Yeah, for sure. So just truly doing a needs building process and asking enough questions to discover where the business owner or individual is at as far as where they want to take their business. That's awesome. That's huge. So excellent. So one of the things I love to ask about people, and it could be specific to credit card processing, it doesn't necessarily have to be. And what are some of the books that you would recommend to people personally? It could be about life in general. It could be specifically about credit card processing.
Probably there's a book I read called The Gung Ho Effect. And it talks about the ability to be able to team together and to be able to bring together a team in order to accomplish a goal. Probably one of the best books that I've read. And also Think and Grow Rich. I think that book is an excellent read for many people.
Napoleon Hill. That's awesome. Yeah, I read that book a long time ago. Excellent book. But I never heard of that first one you heard. You said The Gung Ho Effect.
Yeah, I'll get the exact title for you. I think that's what it's called. It's been a while since I read it, but really great book.
Nice. That's exciting. And then also, what is one of the greatest business lessons that you personally learned that's helped you grow your business to be successful as you are?
The biggest lesson that I've learned is don't take people for granted and don't be
Mhm.
complacent. I have a lot of clients that I deal with on a daily basis. One of the things that helps me to be successful is that I follow up. My customer service is excellent, and my work ethic is very well. So I don't take for granted that because somebody's doing business with me now that they're always going to do business with me. So I try to make sure that I provide them with the best service that I can provide, and also with a great product, so that I don't have to worry about my competition coming in and undercutting me on price, and I can still keep my customers.
That's awesome. I always heard the best ability is availability.
Absolutely.
And so it sounds like you're available for your clients to be able to service them. So
Absolutely.
if somebody is looking to switch, or if they're brand new trying to start a business, like how do they get in contact with you in order to start credit card processing?
So the easiest way to get in touch with me is my cell phone, which is 832-322-6948. You can also email me at Landry@Clearant, CLEARENT.com. Very easy to reach me. I'm on social media, Andrew J. Landry. So I'm pretty easy to find.
Excellent, excellent. So I'm going to open up the questions to our audience here. We already have a couple questions in the chat. So actually, the first one's from my dad, of all people. And you kind of answered a couple of these, but he kind of threw a spitball. So the first one, you said, we already answered the first one, but who do you work for? Like, what's the company that you represent personally?
So the name of the company I work for is Clearant Payment Solutions. We're housed out of St. Louis, Missouri. We work, remotely, and so our business model is a little different than the banks. We actually have people that go out and see you at your business as opposed to phone calls. So great business model.
Excellent. And then he said, who else? Who needs him? Like who is your ideal?
Well, the truth is we can help just about anybody. So our goal is to make sure that we help businesses that want to take credit cards or are currently taking credit cards to be able to do that efficiently. So, my primary clients are computer repair, veterinarians, doctors, dentists, auto repair, funeral homes. So, I mean, it's kind of like a wide open industry. Many of us in the industry kind of get a niche product. Some people do specifically restaurants and pawn shops, CBD. So people kind of find a niche in the industry and they kind of stay with that. But we can help just about anybody.
Do you have a specific niche yourself, or?
I like the auto parts, auto repair, tire shops. I don't really care for restaurants too much just because they're so inundated. So I kind of stay out of that. But veterinarians, funeral homes, those are really the ones that diesel mechanics are probably my niche product.
Excellent. And do you have a specific territory too, or can you do it anywhere in the United States?
I can do anywhere in the United States. Actually, just closed the deal in Michigan last couple of weeks ago. So got to work on a couple of them in Nebraska. So we can go anywhere.
Nice. I hope you're not having to travel up there during these Arctic cold fronts.
Not yet.
That's a blessing. He has a follow-up question. So he's asking, is it just for business use?
Yes, absolutely. So our goal is to help businesses increase their revenue by eliminating their credit card processing fees. So it is a business service.
Okay. And so what if an individual wants to accept credit cards for whatever reason, say they have a t-shirt business or whatnot on the side?
We can do that also. Their business would be whatever their business name. So you don't necessarily have to have a DBA or LLC to qualify. But you do have to, it's better to have a business bank account because you don't want to commingle those funds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when you get into the tax implications and everything like that. You want to be able to keep everything separate. So that's very, very great advice. And we'll wait maybe a couple more seconds to see if anybody else has any questions in the audience.
Okay.
Once again, I do appreciate you for being on, and I know that credit card processing has this huge mystique about it. So I just wanted you to come on and address that and let them know how you could do things differently. And so, because it's very important for businesses to be able to accept credit cards nowadays, because I know personally, I hardly ever carry cash, right? Everything's swipe the debit card, or if you have a credit card, swipe the credit card, right? It's just so convenient.
Absolutely.
And that's the way things are going nowadays. So this is just a personal question, just out of curiosity. Do you think credit card processing eventually is going to be able to tailor to cryptocurrencies eventually? I don't know if they are talking about that.
It's going to have to get there. Crypto is the new thing, and it's coming along whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not. It's kind of like the switch from floppy disk to CDs to Bluetooth. It's coming, whether we grasp it, whether we like it or not. And so eventually it will come to a place to where the industry will be forced to take crypto as a form of payment.
That'd be amazing. Because that's where things are going. Like Bitcoin hit an all-time record high this week of what, 57,000. When I first heard about Bitcoin, it was $700 a coin. Now it's $50,000 a coin.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I don't think it's slowing down.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Cool. Well, once again, I appreciate you for being on. And any last words that you want to share with the audience before you leave?
The first thing, and probably the most important thing I would say, is do your research. Even if you don't use my company or me, check around and see who's offering the best. Make sure that you are asking the right questions. What type of pricing model? When you're going to get your funding? How long does it take for refunds? Get some information so that when you do run across those situations, you're able to effectively communicate that with the people that are connected to you, whether it be your business partners, whether it be those people that are shopping at your store. Try, if all possible, to stay away from flat rate pricing, just because many times you are overpaying. So do the research on that. And if you need me, I can answer any questions for you. You can feel free to reach out to me. Again, 832-322-6948.
Excellent. So I'll type in his information in the comments in the chat. And so I hope you have an amazing Saturday. And I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. We appreciate you for being on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, I hope that was very valuable information for you guys. If you have the inkling that you even want to start your own business, definitely you want to be able to accept credit cards. Check out my man, Andrew. He'll take care of you. He'll offer you the lowest fees in the industry, because that's where everything is. It's about saving money, but being able to be convenient for your clients or your customers, whoever is going to be paying you. So I appreciate you guys for being on. We will be here next week at the same time, 5 o'clock Saturday. If you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat, and definitely reach out to my man, Andrew, if you do have questions specifically about credit card processing. And with that, you and I together, we're going to get lit.